Jason Kapit, he's got a fascinating story. He's over in the East, I'll call it East Coast, East Side of the state. And from attorney to real estate, now to Keller Williams, a little bit more recently. So tell us your story and
why. All right, thanks for having me. This is awesome. So I appreciate being here, and I want to just quickly thank Mark Olish and Mike Brody, Tamara Perez and Alice Burnham for having me on the panel and getting me involved in this. It's truly humble to be a part of it. So good afternoon. My name is Jay Kapit, and I've been in the business for about 15 years. But although I've been in the business for 15 years, I just started at KW in January of this year. So I just wanted, thank you. I just wanted to let any of the guests in the audience know that a year ago this month, I was sitting right where you guys were, wondering if this move to KW was something I really wanted to do. And fast forward to today, and I can honestly say it's a fantastic decision that I really wish that I would have made sooner. So as to how I got into luxury, the real answer is out of necessity. As Mike said, I started out as an attorney, and I transitioned into real estate in 2003. And you would think, like, as an attorney, this was going to be an easy transition into luxury. Professionals, and the transition is going to be, not as difficult as it might be if you were brand new. But it wasn't. I still did the rentals, and I still did the townhouses, and I pretty much did anything that needed to be done to help make that transition from the legal career into the real estate career something that was manageable. But I was literally a one-man show, and I have been for over a decade, and that was one of the big reasons for the transition to KW was to ultimately learn leverage and team building, and all these amazing panelists that you've seen here today talk about those topics. But the necessity part of it was, because I was a one-man show, I basically had to figure out how to create that kind of annual income with the same amount of hours in a day as everybody else has. I didn't have a team of 20 people. I didn't have a team, I didn't have an administrative assistant. I didn't have anybody. So the only real way to do that and to monetize it was to effectively raise the price point of the homes. It's very simple math. You sell 20 homes at 200,000, that's 4 million in volume. You sell 20 homes at 2 million, that's 40 million. It takes the same amount of time. Maybe the house will stay on the market a bit longer. Maybe you need a therapist to deal with all the clients. But at the end of the day, that's how you do it as a one-man show. And I'm grateful to everybody that's helping me at Keller Williams leverage that. I just hired an executive assistant, so it's been a much better climb in the last year now that I've kind of turned it over and subscribed to this business model. The three things that I would kind of talk about with regards to what I focus on as in the luxury space is, in no particular order, at the bottom of the screen, is you have an expert in the field, which I think the knowledge is power thing is huge. I mean, basically, with regards to clients, these guys want you to be the go-to person. When you're in the luxury space, you're talking to people that are doctors, lawyers, professional athletes, the handlers of professional athletes, CEOs, leaders of industry. These guys women are no-nonsense people. They want answers, and they want to turn over the real estate aspect of their lives to one person that they feel is going to get it done. They don't have time to ask questions, to worry if somebody knows something. That's the deal. And if you are that person, then you will gain their trust, gain their business, and you'll end up being the go-to person for everything that they want. The other part of it, in which I preach daily now, is the database. I've always had a big database, but I wasn't really intentional about it until I got to KW. And one of the first things I did when I got here is I went to a family reunion where they were talking about it nonstop. And we came away from that family reunion, and we actually now have at our market center a database class every week. And we've become really intentional about adding to the database, how we add to the database, why it's so important, and not so much worrying about the quality of the database as opposed to getting the people in the database and then determining the quality of it. Much easier to get rid of somebody than to get them in the database. And then finally, going a bit further with the database, and that little icon, that little image in the middle is coffee, is that I'm very intentional about meetings every day. I have one-on-ones every single day. They talk about on these panels, how you lead generate. That's one of the biggest ways that I lead generate, is that what I do is I have assimilated a database of over 8,000 people. And of those 8,000, they all get my emails, they all get my drip campaigns, they all get all those, everything. But how much of that is personalized is better done through in-person communication. And then it's much easier to determine those people in your database that you want to continuously be rallying around to get as your raving fans and to help you do bigger and better business. So if you guys focus on those three things, you'll be a force in the luxury space. Just be careful what you wish for.
Jason, any final tips? I think you pretty much gave your son.
Listen, my only tip is you got to be a fierce networker. You have to be very intentional about networking. And they talk about lead generation and time blocking. I mean, I'm lead generating 24 hours a day in various ways. And all I would say is that I love to network. I'm a huge referrer. When I sit down for coffee with somebody, the conversation is rarely about real estate. It's not about me ever. It's always about me helping them. What can I do for you? I'm a very intentional referrer. I am very focused on my area. I don't look to do business in real estate even 45 minutes away because it's just not going to work for the level of service I try and provide. And I would tell all of you, look, we have these amazing apps. We have this Kelly. I would say, look, find me on Kelly, connect with me, and if I know who you are, and if I'm connecting with you and I even hear a comment about somebody wanting to move, buy, sell, and you will get a call from it. It's an amazing system that they put together here, and it makes it so much easier to conduct business. Most of my network that I really do well with are other agents.
Fantastic. So